Dolemite is my name, and up, mother, cause it's my game. Hey, my tie-dyes, it's me, Tyler, and I'm back. Y'all, I don't know if I'm supposed to sing the documentary review song because it's not really a documentary. It's more of a biopic, but it's time for another documentary review. Hey, documentary review. Hey, documentary review. Hey, documentary review. So guys, today this documentary or biopic or whatever you want to call it is basically a movie about somebody's life. This movie is called Dolemite Is My Name, and it's on Netflix, and it stars Eddie Murphy. It has Blade, what's that man name? The dude who played Blade, Wesley Snipes, Mike Epps, and a whole bunch of other more stars. It got Snoop Dogg in it. It got a lot of different people in it, but it's largely based upon Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy did a great job in the movie, as he normally does. He was hilarious. And I'm an Eddie Murphy fan. I love him. I love Nutty Professor. What's the one with Rasputia? Norbit. I love Dr. Doolittle. I live for Eddie Murphy. He is so hilarious, and he did not disappoint in this. The story was about Dolemite. Yeah, so his real name is Rudy Ray Moore, and I didn't know anything about Dolemite before watching this movie. I've heard the name before. I knew it was like some type of pimp character, but I didn't, or like a real actual person, but I didn't know exactly who and what he did or nothing like that. So Rudy Ray Moore, he started out working at this club or whatever, and he did a short little small comedy skit at the beginning of each person's performance. Well, at the beginning of the performance at the small little nightclub that he worked at. He had several different jobs. He was one of the people who kept trying different things and didn't want to work for anybody else. He wanted to be famous. So he kept trying different jobs, and he had started to get up there in age. Like, I think he probably was in his 30s or 40s or 50s, one of them, when he decided to take on this persona of the man Dolemite. And where he got the idea from was he used to hang out, well, not hang out, but he got the idea from this homeless man that used to come around the record store that he worked at during the day. The man, he used to take on this persona of a man called Dolemite and talk shit. And like us as black people, we love to talk shit. We love like to sit around and drink and be provocative, I guess, and talk shit, especially if you're from the South. Like, if you are from the South, you have heard somebody talking like kind of how like Dolemite do. Even to this day here in 2019, people kind of have their own little way and persona of talking shit. It might not sound exactly like it sounded in the 70s, but you know, that's what we love. We stand a provocative king. We love somebody who gonna sit around and cackle and shoo and talk shit with us. And Dolemite was
character. Dolemite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.
What'd you do to your hair? You look like a pimp.
It's all pretend. I just created a character.
Dolemite.
So Rudy Ray and his friends was sitting around one day talking about this homeless man that had the Dolemite persona, and Rudy Ray decided that he was going to take it on, and that was going to be his character that he performed as. And come to find out, all the trash talking and cutting up that he used to do and rhyming and all of that, it actually got him far, and he ended up blowing up. He started traveling and this and that, and Eddie Murphy played it so well. Of course, after I watched the movie or whatever, I looked up clips of the actual Dolemite, and yes, Eddie Murphy did a great job. And it's a few things that I want to name that I just really loved about his story and that I loved about the movie. Is the first thing that I love about Rudy Ray / Dolemite's story is his perseverance. If you go watch the documentary, he went through a lot just trying to get on, trying to get famous, trying to get his work out there. He went through a lot with making his movies. He went through a whole lot just with everything or whatever the case may be, and he always persevered. He always pushed through until he finally became iconic. Like, here we are in 2019 and people are making movies about him. We are still talking about him to this day, and at first folks was just looking upside his head like he was crazy and giving him the boot, and he heard no so many times. So I think Dolomite is a good testament for us to, like, everybody not gonna like what you're doing, but it's a lane for people who do like you. I remember like a clip in the movie. They were saying like, we trying to inspire, we trying to impact the world, not just this little four corners of the neighborhood that think you're funny, Dolemite. And Dolemite was like, well, the neighborhood that you're talking about, it's in every city, and all those people in those neighborhoods think I'm funny. And I thought that was like so profound, especially in the profession that I'm trying to do. It's not that everybody gonna like me, but the people who do, they're going to fire me if I keep putting myself out there. And I don't have to worry about, the people who don't like me or the people who don't want to subscribe or whatever. The people who do want to subscribe, they're going to. And he taught that. He taught a great lesson in that. Just keep sticking to what you're doing. The next thing that I loved about the movie and the story is Dolemite's friends were so ride or die. Like, they had his back to the fullest. I mean, of course, they kind of had back and forth and arguments, but they always supported him. Even though he was the star, they all were stars and they all were winning because they all had his back, like, to help him. They stayed with him through thick and thin. They nigger rigged stuff for him, trying to get it together. Like, they just really had his back through and through, and it got all of them to a point where they were successful. And I love that, like, that it was like this one little clip where they were getting ready to go to their movie premiere and they didn't know if people were gonna show, and the other one was like, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of y'all, we came far, y'all, we made a movie. It don't matter if one person there, it don't matter if 100 people there, we made a movie, y'all. We from Arkansas, country ass town, and we got on the big screen. We made a movie, and all them was like, hell yeah, you right, this, that, and third. Like, they always had his back. And then it was another part where Wesley Snipes was kind of like the bad guy, I guess. I wouldn't even say he was a bad guy. He just was an asshole kind of in the movie. And on one of the parts, he was like basically telling Dolemite that his movie sucked and this, that, and the third. And he stormed out and everybody got quiet. His friends was like, oh hell no, we had a good time. I think it was a good movie. We had a good time. Fuck him. Da, da, da. Like, his friends always had his back. And I love that. Another thing that I loved about the movie was the woman that Dolemite took on to be his protege and help him and also do comedy with him. Her name was Nancy Reed in the movie. I don't know if that was I don't know if that was her real name, like in real life, but that was her name in the movie. And the thing about her is, like, she wasn't like this pretty perfect picture, like how, they had casted back in the day of black women, like this light-skinned woman on the movies. She was this dark-skinned woman, and she was bigger. And when they first met, they met in a little small club or whatever, and he was like, hey, pretty, or hey, beautiful, or whatever. She was like, I ain't pretty, and this, that, and the third, but he still continued to pour into her. He made her famous with him. He put her up on the big screen, and she ended up thanking him for that. And it was just like this really tiny emotional moment they had closer towards the end, like where she was thanking him for, putting her on and this and that. And it was, I about cried on that part. It was so sweet. But one thing I don't like is we never gathered whether Dolemite was actually like involved with Nancy Reed or were they just truly friends. I didn't really gather it. Like, were they, if y'all know, please comment below. Like, I didn't really gather whether they were just friends or whether they were, you know, romantic together. But that was a beautiful part of the movie too. Like, Dolemite definitely wasn't a colorist or nothing like that. He saw the beauty in all women from the beginning and chose one that he thought was funny and beautiful and dynamic, and he, you know, stuck with her. Even after he started getting famous and stuff, he didn't go pick like the light-skinned woman. No, he stuck with Nancy still, and I love that part about the movie as well. All in all, y'all, it was a great movie. It was a great way to be introduced to Dolemite. I'm actually interested in watching some of the real movies if I could get my hands on it, because it was very provocative. Like, he was cussing, talking shit, like just the type of shit I like. Like, just, you know, just acting ignorant, and it was funny, and, you know, black people loved it, so I want to be a part of it. It kind of reminds me of me liking to watch like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy himself, like back in the day, like funny stuff, because it's still funny, even though, you know, that was back in the day. They jokes and stuff, they are timeless, I guess. So I would love to watch a Dolemite movie to see, you know, get the real experience. Y'all, if y'all watched that documentary about Dolemite, let me know, comment below, let me know how you liked it. Or even if you heard of him before and watched his movies, comment below and let me know how you liked it. And if y'all like my documentary reviews, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all.